We're here in beautiful Delphi with the eminent interior design and cake designer, Mr. Michael Lewis Anderson. The conference is ended, and how do you feel about it?
How do I feel about it? I was absolutely taken away. It was a conference that showed the guests the beauty of Greece and different sides. We visited so many wonderful things when we were there, which I didn't know about because I was invited by Lena, a dearest friend of mine, and she said, do come. For me it was Delphi, and I was so actually unaware about the conference, and I met so many wonderful people from around the world. I think we're maybe, I don't know, we were roughly about 50 different countries, or
80 different countries actually.
80 different countries. Can you imagine?
Yes.
That is so unbelievable, because for me, since I support peace through my cakes, it was like I could, where did this energy come from?
Exactly.
Did it come from Delphi?
I think it's come from your good willing to come to Greece and to have this experience, and to meet very nice people like our president, Mrs. Sayed Sausidu, and the whole invitation came from her actually, because when we met us in Brussels.
We met in Brussels, yes.
Exactly. She just say, wow, what kind of warm person, real person, so authentic. What about to have him with us to celebrate together this 60 jubileum?
It's true, it was 60 years birthday party, and by surprise, well, we did a surprise for you. It wasn't in the intention actually to make a cake.
Exactly.
But we did make a cake, and we went, which was absolutely wonderful, was be able to find the ingredients, and thanks that I remember the recipe completely. It's not a simple recipe, but it's a recipe that anybody can make at home, and we managed to make the cake. There was, but with also Greek ingredients, which was exactly what I wanted to be able to create. And the wonder of this, because you have to imagine that each country, each people have a different palette in their tasting, and some countries like sweets and desserts which are very, very sweet, and others like it less sweet. And my cakes are rather on the less sweet side, and everybody, I think everybody were truly appreciated towards it. And then I thank everybody from my art for the kindness that they gave and the appreciation, also for welcoming me and allowing me to do that. Actually,
it was really great, the whole support and contribution of the mayor of Eritrea, also Mr. Spanos, and everything that they do for us in Evia, with eminent journalist Effie Dini, that she was the soul of organization, and of course Stella Dini, because you organized the surprise, you know. Stella, she was your,
she was my right arm. I actually was wondering if I was working more for her or she was working for me, which was quite funny. No, the two sisters, absolutely, Effie and Stella, are absolutely lovely. But everybody was. You can't say one person was nicer than the other, because everybody, I met some wonderful people, a gentleman from Washington and with his wife, and he's been a part of the association for 40 years. Which is like, wow, you know, that's something incredible. These people have so much to be able to talk about and so many experiences. And when you meet these people, we all have our different lives and we all have our different experiences which we can share, and it's quite rich. And one thing which was quite wonderful was that Victoria Romanovna, Serene Highness, she actually, this is where I got the surprise in, to say, she wrote to me, I told her about what was happening with all the journalists, and she wrote a letter actually to the journalist saying how much this cake meant for world peace through a wedding and through the Romanovs, and wishing everybody such a wonderful time in the evening, and that they could enjoy the cake and pass the world peace for everybody.
Exactly, that was the most nice surprise that we received from the Princess of Romanov, all this beautiness and kind
There were
letter.
a few tears, wasn't there? I think the President was crying. She was had emotional tears in her eyes.
Yeah, it's a big
And
corner.
Even myself, I had to hold it back because you're giving your energy and you want to share that.
Exactly.
The goodness.
Something that really was very important was also the Holocaust. And the visit we made in Istanbul, and all the scars you saw, all these massacre monuments.
That was, for the Holocaust, that was very, it was also unexpected, because I didn't actually know the program.
Exactly.
So it was quite, how can I say, it was horrific. We were in a place which was of natural beauty, and then you realize that this horrible massacre, genocide, happened in a place which it's unbearable and unthinkable, and it's not from this horribleness that you have to think of. It's got to be a lesson learned.
Yeah.
And sadly, we're in a situation that you think nobody's learned anything, and that's what hurts you even more. It was complete village that was massacred, and the people that were survivors. There was a video that was shown, and it was very touching. Even I didn't understand the same language, there were subtitles. You could hear in the emotions and how they've lived that in their lives. It was horrific.
Pain is like love, you don't need to translate it. It's a global language, actually. If the European Association Journalists will make another conference, will you be happy to come again, I think?
Well, I'm expecting to be honorary member.
So congratulations, first of all, that you accepted a nice invitation. I think that...
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience, and also, for me, it puts journalists in another concept, because obviously the journalists are... how can I say?
Not only in one frame, there are
It's multi-task. You can get the journalists about the royals, for example. That's just gossip, and and that's when we're fighting for freedom of speech. That's not freedom of speech. But your meeting was about freedom of speech and be able to talk about the truth, what's happening, and it was a true eye-opener for me to see that even as a journalism, you yourselves are fighting to be able to say the truth, and fighting in your way for world peace through everything that you're doing and you're writing, because everything is false out there that everybody's receiving.
Yes, disinformation, actually, this propaganda in many fields.
It's propaganda.
But we have to fight with tools of journalism, fact-checking factors, and I think this is the meaning that also through these conferences, people, they meet to each other and they can make synergies, collaborations.
I was very touched enormously to think that a few of the journalists who were at the conference, they can't go back to their own country because they actually have the death threat on their head, because they say the truth, and when they say the truth, it's not accepted.
Exactly.
And it's horrific.
So, and let's close with a nice and positive message. What do you like to share with the world?
I would like to say to the world, I'm in Delphi. It's the navel of the world. It's the center of the world, and we have dreams. Let's dream for peace, and let's make that dream come true.
So no war anymore.
No war anymore, and let's go for happiness and love.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you so much.